I've met some of you I haven't. I am the one who has the petition to eliminate real estate and personal property tax, to take the way of rent away from us and let us own our properties. I'm the one who got the initiative. Years we've done. For the ones of you that know, I hope I don't bore you too much. The rest of you, I hope you understand that this is something that is grassroots. I've been doing it out of my pocket. No politicians signed on to us, don't want any. I am not a member of any particular party. I feel I am a citizen. I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. I am not a liberal. I am a citizen. And I fight for what's right. I do have a Ph.D. I do have a master's in accounting. I'm an enrolled agent with the Internal Revenue Service. I'm also a private detective. So when I've done my research on this, when I'm doing my research on this, take it with a grain of salt, then I know what I'm doing. So my research has found that, I'll give you the background first, that personal property tax is unconstitutional. Anytime you pay tax on something, you should have the right to own it and not be re-taxed. Several of the state representatives I have met with have stated that it is unconstitutional. I was on a radio show with Mr. Vieves, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
From Washington, Missouri, and he had told me his pet peeve was personal property tax. And then when I got on his show, and I asked him how long he had been fighting on this major, he said 7 years. And my response is, what are you doing then? You've got to be lining your pockets, you're not doing your job. Because I only worked 2 years and I got a ballot major. Yes, I amended the Constitution. No, I do not believe that was correct for me to do that. But that's the major I had to take to make it right. Yes, it's amended many, many, many times, many places, because I tried to close every loophole. Been in many newspapers already, many radio stations I've been on. The main point is to get the word out that my mission is to eliminate the tax completely. I don't think there should be a new tax replacing it at all. The taxes that are there are multiplied 10 times over. The biggest issue you're going to find in the St. Louis area is that they're going to say that it's going to defeat your schools. I do not believe that's true. I think there's too much waste. There's way too much money being spent. They're not being accounted for. Our school boards aren't doing our job. Our people aren't standing up and speaking out. So part of what I do when I get out and speak is to try to make people understand that you do have a voice. And if you don't use that voice, you're doing nothing. You can't get people to pay attention and understand what your mission is. And I attend a lot of these parties, and they're great, and you inform people, but I'd like to see more of, this is a problem, and this is a way of resolving a problem. I'd like to see a question-answer focus. I'd like to see that more in your meetings when I come to these, to say that, yes, if you have a question, let me be able to answer it. If I can't, let me find the answer, give me your email, and let me get back to you, because that's how I do mine. And part of educating people is letting them educate themselves. But if you can't give them direction or an answer, they have nowhere to go. Rallying people together in a big meeting is wonderful. It's great that you get their interest sparked and you get their blood pressures raised and they holler and they scream. But many of these people walk away and they don't even know what they were doing to start with. So I got asked how come I'm not taking on other tax issues. I'm trying to focus upon, first with personal property tax. As a senior citizen clients, I am an accountant that lost their homes to taxation in Eureka. So I took it upon myself to state that real estate tax was coming, and I went after it. And I did that because I feel that was the job of what I was raised by. I was entitled to my education by my brain and by God, and it's a gift. If I don't put that gift out there and educate people, I'm not doing my job. So if you have an education and you have knowledge, you should put it to the use where everybody betters from it, not just yourself. And it shouldn't be something that you gain from, which I do not gain from. I have circled the state. We're not really quite sure where we are in signatures. I think we're somewhere around 50,000. I started in July, and I will have my signatures, and this will go on ballot. The question that is coming up on us now is that after this gets on ballot, where is our schools going to play? What's going to happen to our political subdivisions and the things that we all think that our tax dollars is being used for? First, most of you have heard me state this, political subdivisions. Many of these agencies are for-profit agencies. My daughter was in a car crash. She took a 20-mile ride with another girl. It cost us $3,800 for those 2 girls to ride in one ambulance for a 20-mile ride. But yet they're getting part of your tax dollars from your personal property tax. I don't think that that's constitutional. If they're a for-profit agency, I can't step in and say, I want your tax dollars to run my business. They shouldn't either have that right. Same thing with your hospitals. They're on there. Your roads. Everybody argues that paved roads is part of what your personal property tax is. Personal property tax does not cover your roads. You pay a per gallon tax, 47 cents per gallon you pay when you buy your gas. That's supposed to cover your roads. Where I live, I don't have a paved road. Not one. To my office. And I live right in the middle of town. So, again, another area that's a problem. Fire departments is not part of your personal property tax, but it's part of your sales tax and other taxes that's collected in your city. Where I live, your fire departments are volunteer. They donate their time, and the tax dollars is used to support their equipment. In St. Louis, they're a payroll, and I really didn't understand why in some areas they have to volunteer. My husband was a volunteer for years. In other areas, they get a paycheck for it. I don't understand that meaning or that interpretation, so I'm still looking into that and how that falls. Same thing with the library. I haven't found to where there is a specific library tax, but someone said that personal property tax covers it. I had a TV station contact me yesterday from Cape Girardeau, and he informed me that I will also, by my measure, be defeating sales tax. I said, yay. Didn't bother me at all. Good, yay. He says, when you amended this, you should have known that. I said, no, I was going after real estate and personal property tax, not sales tax. I think it will stop on any new tax initiative. So we are wanting our state representatives and our senators to step in, and I've said this all along, that my measure is just the start. My measure is a way of saying that I have a voice and I'm going to use it. And I'm a person that once I say I know something and I'm going to do it, you can't stop me. I don't care who you are. You put as much pressure on me as you want. I'm going to do what I think is right in my heart that I was taught. So I'm going after this wholeheartedly. BJ Lawrence has stepped on with me. She's handling District 9 and coordinating for me, and I have different people around the state. I need some people in St. Louis County, St. Louis City, and St. Charles. These are areas I'm going to be focusing on next. I'll gladly come and give a full speech at any one of these places. If you have a large attendance, I'll gladly come in. People can hear the truth. If you see the state's budget, which they do not put that out there for you to see, this year I found out from a representative up in New London, Missouri, that when they voted on our budget this year, they did it behind closed doors. The people weren't welcomed in. I find that unconstitutional. You're spending my dollars, I should have a voice. When they shut the door, they do a tax that you have no control over. So what I've done with my amendment, it states clearly in there they can't create any new tax or raise any tax without a majority vote of the people. So no more closed-door politics. So someone asked me, they said, well, in Cape Girardeau, what if we want to increase our sales tax? I said, well, then it has to be something that's approved by the state, not just by you, for your area. It has to be something that affects everybody. It should be fair across the board. Our teachers should receive like-kind salary for like-kind education. Our school district should receive like-kind money. Jennings School District receives $13,000 a student. Where I'm at, they get $6,000 a student. How is that fair compensation? Where we're at, they can't afford a new bus, but here you have a luxurious pool, you have brand new computer systems sitting in rooms that are never used, you have things that just are not fair to all students. It should be equal. My next big argument is, and I am an educated person, and I understand education is a necessity, but what happened to the basic fours of education and the principles of getting that education? Where did the swimming pool fit into that? Computerized bicycles, when did that come in? I mean, when I went to school, if you rode a bicycle, you rode it to school. You didn't do it on the computer. And that was someone that was in Pacific that had talked about that, Kirkwood School District. Computerized bicycles. $1 million. That's $1 million of the money out of taxpayers' pockets. And when we asked about that, the response was, I said, well, why don't you, excuse me, when you have an excess of money, refund that money back to the people, to the taxpayers? Well, no, we'll put that to a new swimming pool the next year and we'll just say we had excess money. So then, there again, they have wasted your money without your vote. But the only argument I have to that is that if you allow your school district and you allow your state representatives and your senators to take their voice over yours, then you're not attending, you're not paying attention. And the only way you can get rid of these people is to vote them out.